Well said, Lottie. I'm very grateful for the Hong Kong Academy to host this competition. I had the idea of this competition long ago. In fact, of course, I grew up in Hong Kong. When I was a childhood, I gone through a lot of hardship, but I still am very enthusiastic about doing science, doing math. I learned a lot from my friends and my teachers during those days. But what I learned is very limited because in those days in Hong Kong, I mean in the 1950s and the early 60s, there really not that much talents that advanced in science and mathematics. But still learn a lot from their enthusiasm and their interest in science. Then later, of course, I spent a lot of time of learning research in America, become reasonable famous in America. I came back to China the first time in 1979. The Chinese science, not bad at that time, but something is always lacking that I felt strongly, namely the kind of creativity and the kind of passion that I think a scientist should have. And so I looked up into the education system and all that, and there's something missing to help for children to be enthusiastic about science and also learn how to be creative. So I started to think about this competition, and especially after my two children who has joined the Intel competition in the about 25 years ago, and I observed a phase transition before and after they did the competition. My two children all become biologists, and one of them is very successful. Both of them are successful. One of them becomes a professor now in Harvard Medical School, and I think a very important key part for his interest in biology is through the Intel competition, with the guidance by the teacher in high school and also the professor in Harvard University, who really helped him to study, to do the experiment in the lab in Harvard. So I thought we should try to do similar thing in Hong Kong and in China, but it's not so easy in Hong Kong at those days. So I started up in China, and then I watched things are rather better in those days. At the beginning, it was mathematics only. Friendly, I mean, if I do not start out from mathematics, it will be difficult to do other subjects because in biology, for example, the high school student doesn't have much opportunity to do experiment, to go to university and all that. But now it's all changed, of course. But even in mathematics, at the very beginning, I found out the students' background are very poor. But the examination or the competition does change their view. And after many years, I'm watching they grow up very fast. Then I start to do physics, biology, chemistry, and then computer science and economics. As you see, there are 6 fields. So, well, it's now very well established in the sense that many of the Ivy League schools in America actually are admitting our students who got award. In the last few years, the gold and the silver and the bronze, all of them are admitted by Harvard. Early admission, in fact. Some go to Stanford, some go to Princeton and all that. So at least that is a reasonable objective judgment on how well our students do in these competitions. And of course, I watched firsthand, at least in the mathematics, how they grow up. Now they are doing very sophisticated essays. Some of them I do not know myself, the content. I learned it from the paper. And the only thing I need to make sure is that they do it by themselves, so there's no cheating. Otherwise, the depth is very good and is very creative. And also learn from talking with the students that they are also enthusiastic about what they are doing. So I see this is a very good sign. And it's not just in Hong Kong, also in mainland China. Well, I think it's very important when we do this competition is open up to the whole world. That's why I insist to have the Asian region, American region, and also the mainland China region. Without compare ourselves with other regions, we will close ourselves up in a small region and feel good about it. Only when we open up, we see the strength of other people, and then we feel competitive, and then create more interesting, research. And I think this is very good that we open up, and we see the success in that way. That's the reason I said Harvard and many other major universities are taking our students, because they compare it with other students that they see in the whole world. So let's say 3 years ago we start this program, and I do not go to all competitions. Majorly, I went to the math competition, which I'm familiar with. I have to say that in mathematics, Hong Kong is doing very well in the first couple of years, but this year is not doing as well. I think it reflects the situation in Hong Kong a couple of years ago about the protest by the Hong Kong students. Whatever it is, I have to say that in order to be good in academic world, we need to put efforts. We need to pay attention to what we are trying to learn. We have to learn from the school teachers and also from the professors in universities. And this year, we see that Singapore is doing very well, and I admire their achievement, and the gold and the silver are all given to them. And I look at what they did, they are very impressive. And I think our Hong Kong students could do very well, but I hope they will put in more effort into academic world instead of walking on the street and protest. This is a peaceful time. We should grow, we should do research, and we should be good students to support our country. And I've been in China since early last year, and I feel that we have really brilliant students all over the country, and we could change the whole world with our brilliant students participating into building our country together. We need our teachers, our professors to help. Right now, in Tsinghua University, I am sitting right here. We have been training very young students. Some of them are only 13-year-old or 14-year-old. And I'm totally surprised how capable they are. They are able to do some work that a graduate student could do when they are only 14-year-old. And I'm seeing that very good original researchers are helping them. With all this help, I think we can change the atmosphere and also the building up of the science subjects in this whole country. And I'm very hopeful that the whole world will change with all these very good science students, and the universities put up all the efforts together. And so I wish to say that everybody would put the effort together behind science, everything will change. And I continue to be very hopeful about the future of Hong Kong, where I grew up, where I learned everything before I was 20. And I still like to put all my effort to help both Hong Kong and mainland China together, or in fact Taiwan also. And I'm very happy to see all our children grow up in a very healthy manner, and I'm willing to put in all my effort to support them, to make them learn the modern science and modern technology, not only good for economics, but also good for the ideology, philosophy, and the noble goal of mankind. So I thank all of you, the Hong Kong Science of Academy, and also all the teachers, all the professors that help this competition. Thank you.